Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into Ron Lieber's incredible book, The Opposite of Spoiled. It's all about how to take money, which, let's be honest, is one of the most stressful parts of parenting, and turn it into one of our absolute best teaching tools.
Okay, let's just dive right in here. Because this one word, spoiled, it really hits a nerve, doesn't it? It's not like calling a kid mean or stubborn. Spoiled feels different. It feels like an accusation pointed right back at us, the parents, like it's something we did to them. And that fear, well, it drives a lot of our decisions around money.
So to really get a handle on how to raise the opposite of a spoiled kid, we've got to understand why this feels like such an uphill battle for parents today. Because the challenges our kids are facing, they're brand new.
I mean, this is the question that can keep you up at night, right? And it's so easy to blame ourselves. But the thing is, our kids are growing up in a financial world that's just completely different from the one we knew. It's almost unrecognizable.
Now this is fascinating. It kind of flips the script in what we think spoiling is all about. We tend to focus on that last one, right? The material stuff. But look at this list. 3 of the 4 things have nothing to do with money. Giving kids chores, setting rules, those things don't cost a penny.
And the world they're walking into is just, wow, it's financially complicated. You've got social media, which is basically a nonstop engine of envy. They're being asked to make these massive 6-figure decisions about college debt before they can even vote. And all those safety nets our parents might have had, like pensions, they're mostly gone. That huge financial risk has been shifted right onto their shoulders. Okay, but here's where things get really interesting. This is where the whole challenge gets turned on its head. The book shows us how to take all that anxiety and reframe it into this incredibly powerful tool for teaching our kids what really matters. And this right here, this is the core idea. We have to stop treating money like this big, scary secret. Instead of hiding our financial lives, we should be leaning into those conversations. Why? Because every single time we talk about money, we're not just talking about dollars and cents. We're talking about our values.
And I love this because it frames the goal so perfectly. We're not just trying to avoid a negative label. We're actively trying to grow these amazing positive traits in our kids. And it turns out, talking about money is the perfect way to teach every single one of them.
And get this, it's not like we have to drag our kids into these conversations. They're actually desperate for them. As this high schooler, Jacob, puts it so well, keeping money a secret isn't protecting them. It's just leaving them totally unprepared for the world they're about to inherit.
All right, so let's get practical. Let's get into the toolkit. What do you actually do when your kid drops one of those money bombs on you, right in the middle of dinner? Well, it all starts with one simple, incredibly powerful reply.
Ah, the classic. The question that sends a jolt of panic through pretty much every parent. You don't want to lie, but you don't want to overshare, and honestly, you have no clue what they're really asking.
And this is just brilliant in its simplicity. That one little magic question, why do you ask, changes everything. It turns your panic into a real moment of connection. It gives you a second to breathe and figure out the context. Are they asking because their friend just got a new game console? Or because they overheard something scary on the news? You listen first so you can answer the question they're actually asking. So you can see it's a huge shift, right? We're moving from this defensive crouch where money is a secret we have to guard to a much more open stance where we actually welcome their curiosity. And look, this isn't about showing your salary to your 5-year-old. It's just about being honest about choices and trade-offs. And really, the big picture goal here is to create what the author calls a place of intrigue, a home where your kids just know that their questions are always welcome, no matter how awkward they might be. Because let's face it, if they stop asking us, it doesn't mean they stopped being curious. It just means they'll go ask Google or their friends who are just as confused as they are. Okay, next up, let's tackle the allowance. Probably one of the most common money tools we use, but also maybe one of the most misunderstood. The book suggests we completely rethink what an allowance is actually for. Now this is a big one. It's a huge mindset shift. The idea is to completely separate 2 things we almost always mush together, chores and allowance. The book argues that kids should do chores for free. Why? Because they're part of the family, and that's just what we do for each other. So then, allowance isn't pay. It's practice money. It's a tool for them to learn financial habits where the stakes are still really low. And when you think about it, giving them that small, regular amount of money, it's like creating a little training ground for patience. It's where they learn to wait, to save up for something they really, really want. And in our world of on-demand everything, where waiting is kind of a lost art, learning patience might be one of the most valuable skills we could ever teach them.
And here's the super practical, hands-on way to do it. The 3-jar system. It's basically their first ever budget, but it's visual. The spend jar, that's their lab for making small mistakes. The save jar is where they practice that patience and planning. And the give jar, that's where they learn that money is also a powerful tool for being generous.
All right, so let's pull all of this together. What's the actual game plan? What are the key things you should walk away with?
It really boils down to these 4 powerful ideas. First, stop thinking of money as a taboo and start seeing it as a teaching tool. Second, when you get a tough question, get curious first with why do you ask? Third, treat allowance as practice, not pay. And finally, give them a simple, hands-on system like the 3 jars to learn the basics.
And that's really the heart of it all, isn't it? This whole thing isn't about raising little Wall Street geniuses. It's about using the everyday reality of money to raise kids who are curious and patient and generous and grounded. You know, the true opposite of spoiled.
And you know, the best part is, you don't need some grand strategy to get started. All it really takes is one simple, curious question.